Welcome to the instructional guidelines for ECS 116's final project. So we're going to go ahead and take a peek at the assignment. Please know that the final project will not be accepted late, so it must be submitted by the due date located in the instructions. So right now you're going to be locating under assignments the final project cultural awareness paper due Wednesday, May 24th at midnight. Please know this date may change depending on what semester you're taking the class, so you want to double check that. The final project is two parts. One is a display board and the other is a paper. I wanted to point out that this is a key assignment for the ECS program, so you're going to want to save a picture of your display board along with your paper to be able to put into your program portfolio. If you do not know about the program portfolio, you learn about that in our ECS 104 Principles and Practices course. So please do not get rid of it. Make sure you save the assignment. So we're going to have two separate parts, but they're interrelated. So I'm going to ask that you do your display board first. And what the display board is going to do is it's going to have you demonstrate that you understand and have an awareness of your own personal cultural identity, as well as how it affects you in the field of early care and education when you're a professional. So we will be integrating the student learner outcomes of the course. So I do ask that you see the guidelines for the student learner outcome list. So number one, I'm going to ask that you analyze your personal cultural identity based on the student learner outcomes of the course. You also can find those in your syllabus on, I believe it is page 2. Number two, the display board should be a reflection of your own personal experiences and beliefs you have regarding those student learner outcomes that you chose, and that you provide awareness of how your family and ethnic culture has influenced you in those areas. Number three, that you'll include information from class materials and the discussion board, so I will be opening them back up so you can have access, and at least 2 outside resources. So some examples could be photos, pictures from periodicals, using the internet. You could have symbolic representation, quotes, any other pieces that you feel would be relevant in demonstrating your understanding. I'm also letting you know that you'll be graded on the creativity and the integration of all those items on the board, as well as how those topics that you choose from the student learner outcomes are related in the course. So some students like to use a theme, they like to use a poem or picture, magazines, clip art, quotes, etc. And I'm asking for you to try to make this fun. So I am looking for a full-size display board. You could use a foam board, a tag board, the 99-cent store, those science poster boards, that would be fine. And we just want to make sure that you have enough room. So little pieces of paper, 8.5 by 11, that would not be enough room. On the display board, I'm asking for you to keep your written words to a minimum, so we really want you to use the symbolic representation, quotes, etc. as the primary focus. So from that, you're going to take what you've learned and you're going to write a paper, okay, about your board. So the paper needs to be at least 4 or more pages in length. I'm looking for APA guidelines, and there are APA links in this assignment if you need some assistance. It needs to be typed and double-spaced. I'm asking for you to use New Times Roman font, and don't make it any bigger than a 12-point font size. The paper is where you're really going to explain your understanding of your cultural awareness. It's also where you can explain your understanding of multicultural issues. You can use the textbook, you can use the readings and articles, you can use discussion boards. You can also use your own personal understanding of your family and ethnic culture and how that influences your attitudes, your rituals, and your beliefs, as well as your behaviors and perceptions in the areas of the student learner outcomes. So you should integrate, number 3, an explanation of the topics and how you have gained a better understanding and how it has influenced you or shaped your perspective and behavior regarding to the course topics. So the display board and the paper really are to help you reflect, analyze, and describe your understanding of the topics in the course and how your personal culture has influenced you in those areas. So I do think for some of you this will be a tough assignment because you really have to look deep into your own culture and biases and understanding and how that's influenced you. And then you have to parallel that into your knowledge as a teacher or someone working with children and families so that you can be culturally inclusive and responsive to the children and the families' needs. So for some of us, that can be a little bit of, it could be some hard work, I'll say. So I'm going to pause and then I'm going to go ahead and get the student learner outcomes. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down again to the area at the bottom. So know that you have several links here to support APA formatting, and then we also have the grading rubrics. Let's go ahead and take a look at the criteria I spoke of. So within the criteria, that's not good. Let's see, let's try it again. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be required to submit pictures on the display board, and this also would be Canvas, and a typed paper that covers 3 of the following 6 topics. So I would suggest that you review all of the topics. Okay, so there's 6, and you're going to pick 3. So these topics are also directly linked to the student learner outcomes of the class. So for example, if you're going to pick topic 1, key aspects of multicultural education and theoretical support, then in your poster you're going to incorporate these ideas, and then here I give you some, I don't know why that's coming up all blue, but here I give you some support of things that you could include. So you're going to have to pick 3 of these, and then you're going to address these items and these items in your poster, and then in turn you're going to write about it and discuss about it in your paper. So at the very bottom of this resource, you're also going to see that there is the repeat of what the requirements are for paper and poster, that it has to be in APA format, that you need to cite information and have a reference page, and that each component has to be connected to course materials. So you can use your opinion, but I am looking, just as I really focused on the discussion boards, for you to back it up with fact. So I have one more thing I want to show you. So the last thing I want to show you is the grading rubric, because this is what I will be using when I review your assignment. So you can see here that the first thing I'm going to look at is the guidelines of the assignment, making sure that you did complete a poster and a typed narrative, that you did use APA format, and it was submitted by the due date. For the poster, I'm looking for you to contain all aspects of your identity in a picture format with the 3 student learner outcome components. So again, that's using those criteria outlined in the last resource that I showed you. So the narrative paper, okay, has the next series of criteria. So one, I'm looking at an introduction. So this tells you that we really need to have an introduction that gives me a clear understanding of what your paper will be discussing. And a really good hint is to look at the guidelines form and those student learner outcomes. That's a really nice summary for you to use there. The second thing is discussion of student learner outcomes in personal context. So this is where you're going to talk about your own personal beliefs and perception, and most importantly is how did it influence an issue in multicultural education or anti-biased educational settings. So remember your assignments, remember your child observation or your child care observation, remember your parent interviews. Several of those did identify an issue. The next thing we're going to talk about is integration of course topics, and that's where we look at the analysis included in the minimum of 1 example of each SLO. So there's 3 SLOs that you're going to be identifying, and that's demonstrating your personal understanding and the relationship between your own cultural perspective and the influence of an early childhood educator. So it does say you have to have many supportive details and that you do use text citation. Okay, in text citation. So if you just give me your opinion, then you would not get a 4 on that. So the last part is future application, and that's where I'm asking for you to discuss 2 goals that you will use in your future role or your current role as someone working with children and families. So big assignment, but I think that you're going to be able to get through that. So make sure that you're using all of the 2 weeks to prepare. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at tropke@hancockcollege.edu.